Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
Hello and welcome into the Birds of the Round Table. At long last, the long night has ended. The regular season is here. We are 3 days away from the Eagles season opener in Brazil. We're 2 days away from the NFL opener, a repeat of the AFC title game. I could not be more excited to watch actual football. College football doesn't count. It's not the same thing. The NFL is back. And I'm so ready for it. Joined by the usual crew. Unfortunately, as you guys have already noticed, David's not hosting, so the intros are going to be lacking tonight. But we are joined by David. He is here. We couldn't get him back into the host chair. But give David a follow on Twitter at PHL Eagle News. David, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great, man. I'm glad that we're finally talking real football, like you mentioned. It is a little exciting that it's on a Friday night, even though I'm not a big fan of the off nights, but for an opener, it gives them a little kind of mini bye going into the following week. So it's a little exciting to get this game over with. Dobbs is ready for a nap with his pillow.
The following week, by the way, when they also don't play a Sunday game, but they go straight to Monday Night Football. So
right. Yeah, it's like a 10 or 11 days in between. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm ready to get into it, though. It should be a fun night. He's got his blankie, his pillow. He's all ready to go.
I don't understand what's going on the right side of the screen, but maybe we can let him tell us. We're also joined by the napping crew. We've got Ryan, we've got Dibes. They're holding up Eagles pillows and blankets. I don't know what's going on. Are you guys going to make it through this podcast? Did you take a Benadryl before we started? What's the deal here?
I just love the fact that Ryan and I are just randomly throwing up Eagles apparel, and we both have the same pillow and the same blanket right next to us.
Let's go.
You guys are on too many podcasts together.
Yeah.
Love that.
Just a few.
All right. Well, be sure, by the way, you follow those guys on Twitter. Dibes is at Mr. Crockpot. Ryan is at Philly Sports PSA. And Ryan, what's your other Twitter handle? I realized the other day when you retweeted something of mine that you have a personal Twitter account that I never even knew about. So I followed you, but plug that one too.
Yeah, honestly, it's hard to even remember because I don't really use it that much. I pretty much do everything under Philly Sports PSA, but I'm pretty sure it's just Ryan, at Ryan Reese, honestly, right? Might be. Who knows? I don't know. Okay.
It's not a good start. I was trying to let you plug your stuff and you're not.
Oh, no, I mean,
you're asking me.
I appreciate that, but no, just as long as people are at Philly Sports PSA all day and following these gentlemen here, I think you're safe.
All right, well, guys, let's dive into it. We don't have a game to recap for you, so this may be a little bit of a shorter show. Maybe it won't. Maybe the excitement of previewing this real football game will just carry us through. But we're going to start off in a normal week. We're going to give takeaways from the previous game, revisit our player of the game predictions. We don't have any of that tonight. So let's hop right into our Eagles top matchups to watch. let's start off on the offensive side of the ball. We'll talk the top matchup to watch when the Eagles are on offense going against Packers defense. David, I'll throw it to you first. What do you have for me?
Mine is mainly Juergens and his play at center and Hurts being able to call the protections at the line. Kelsey has called most of those protections over the 14-year career he had there, but they did not pass that responsibility to Cam. Jalen Hurts asked to take that over, and he's going to do that. And this has allowed Juergens to focus more on the physical aspect of his game. During the summer, the Lions played really well, and the coaches have been encouraged by the early results. But the OL has to carry that over and have success during the real game. So that's one of the biggest matchups that I'll be watching. I've never seen Hurts do it. Juergens hasn't had to do it. And again, it's been something that Kelsey's taken that responsibility over for 14 years. So to watch that early on, it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to watch the entire interior of the offensive line. I mean, you've got a new center, you've got a new right guard. We didn't see either of these guys really much in the preseason, so it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out on the interior. And of course, the Packers have some good interior defensive pass rushers too.
Yeah,
you've got Kenny Clark. Rashawn Gary's not an interior pass rusher, but they've got some horses there on their defensive front, so that's a great one. Ryan, what about you? What's your matchup to watch? Eagles offense versus Packers defense.
So yeah, I'm looking at the wide receivers versus their defensive backs. Obviously, they have Jair Alexander, who's one of the better corners in the league, going up against, I would assume, mostly against A.J. Brown, but also, will probably match up against Devontae as well. So I kind of want to see how, they do their matchups versus our wide receivers. And now that they have to worry about an actual third wide receiver in Jahan Dotson, I'm just kind of curious to kind of see how they, come out defensively against our offensive weapons. Honestly, it's going to be an exciting thing to see them scramble around to figure out which one's getting that ball.
All right, so the defensive backs against our wide receivers. I'm specifically really interested in Jair Alexander and who they decide to deploy him against. Do you want to use him against A.J. Brown when he's on the smaller side for a corner? He's only 5'10". Do you want to try to take away Devontae Smith and devote more safety help to A.J. Brown? I'm not sure how they're going to play that, but that'll be interesting. We've got Rob chiming in from Twitter here. Says, Ryan, glad this show is important enough for you to be able to make it tonight. It feels like there's a story there.
Yeah, that one stung a little bit. Listen, I apologize, Rob. My fantasy draft went a little long yesterday, and combine that with a couple too many beers wasn't a good recipe for being on air last night.
All right. Let's keep this ball rolling here. I should mention to everybody that we were a few minutes late going live also because Ryan wasn't here. So, there's a theme developing here.
Oh, man, I'm going to get fired soon.
He's been blaming his laptop for the last 2 months, and I'm just not sure how long that's valid. So maybe we'll put that up to a Twitter poll later. But
no, God, no.
Maybe there's a little bit of like a veteran hold-in going on here. I don't know what's going on with Ryan.
I clearly need more money.
All right, Dives, I'll throw it over to you. What's your top matchup to watch when the Eagles are on offense?
I have so many notes, man. Can I give two?
No.
You're right. I'm not allowed to give two.
Okay, you can get. Hold on. You can, but let me go first, and then you can, in case one of them's the one I'm going to say.
Go for it.
So for me, the thing that I'm interested to watch in this game, this is maybe a Dives answer, so this is why I have to get it out here in front of Dives. But my offensive matchup to watch is Kellen Moore against Jeff Hafley. I knew it. You've got a new coordinator for the Eagles offense. To be honest, we don't have any idea what that's going to look like because we didn't see a lot of different looks in the preseason. And then you've got a new defensive coordinator for the Packers in Jeff Hafley. And the Packers for years have invested first-round talent into this defense. And it's a very talented defense, you read down the list of the guys they have, there is a lot of talent there. It has not ever meshed together to be a good defense. So they make the defensive coordinator change. They pulled Jeff Hafley from the college ranks where he played a ton of like single high man coverage. The Packers have tried to play single high man coverage against Jalen Hurts before, and it didn't go very well. So I'm curious if they're going to like go into that more, if they're going to try to spin different looks out there, what Kellen Moore's answers are going to be. Like that chess match is what I'm really excited to watch. And so if that's cheating, then I'll just say Jalen Hurts against Jeff Hafley.
That's a great one.
Really, I'm excited to see that chess match.
Yeah, and I touched on that last night on Party on Broad, and you look at the Packers last year, this was a team that was 10th most in 2023 in blitz percentage, 29.3%, 13th last season in defensive expected points added per rush. So they're a team that like to get at it, but with Jeff Hafley, I think they're going to do a lot more four-man rushes. I think they're going to rely a lot more on their athletic linebackers. And we have a comment here in the chat on Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper, who we all love. So I expect Hafley to really attack the middle of this Eagles offensive line and really do it until the Eagles show that they can counter it with something. So yeah, I'm going to cheat. And the top Eagles to match up to watch, as always, Rob, is the Eagles versus themselves on offense. I'm talking about Kellen Moore versus Jalen Hurts versus Nick Sirianni. Can they sit around the freaking campfire in Brazil and sing Kumbaya? That's what I'm watching today, or Friday, I guess. Can they stop being scared at running strength versus strength? We all know the Eagles struggled to find their rhythm, find their identity on offense all season last year. The Eagles declined from second highest DVOA in 2022 to 14th in 2023. And I think a big part of that was defenses starting to play Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni like a fiddle. Defenses found the blueprint to beat Jalen Hurts. Safeties would play close to the line of scrimmage. They would really just say, go for it, Jalen. Throw those high-risk bombs instead of scrambling for easy conversions on those third, fourth, and shorts. And the Eagles they just loved to overpower defenses showing light boxes. And I get why maybe not running into heavy boxes is smart, but the Eagles kind of just abandon it, and they can't do that. You can't just take that to an extreme like they did in 2023. And what happened was the offense just became predictable. And you look at the Eagles offense, in 2023, they averaged 1.9 yards per carry while under center. The offense ran 12 personnel 65% of the time, easily the highest rate of any team in the league that used 12 personnel. Long story short, you have to have some level of success running strength versus strength. We'll see what Kellen Moore's made of on Friday, but I don't want to run away from what we're so good at. And for me, I want the Eagles offense to dictate what happens on Friday night rather than the other way around.
All right. Same question now. On the defensive side of the ball, let's throw this back around the horn. Dibes, I'll give it to you first here. And no, you can't give 4 answers, but I give it to you first here. What's your biggest defensive matchup to watch?
Yeah, for me, it's the Eagles linebackers versus the Packers tight ends. The Packers don't really have any elite tight ends by any means, but I think they have some really good ones. You look at the Packers offense, we all know, really good last year, 5th best in league in EPA per play while in 11 personnel. And they have 2 elite athletes at tight end that could be major problems. Luke Musgrave, widely considered one of the breakout stars of 2024. He had a raw athletic score of 9.78 out of 10 coming out of the draft. Tucker Kraft played his ass off last year as a backup. He had an RES score of 9.67 out of 10. This is an offense that loves to run 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 31.6% of the time in 2023. That ranked the 3rd most in the NFL. And on the other end, the Eagles were horrible against tight ends. They gave up the 8th most yards to tight ends last year. And the Eagles linebackers the take this preseason was pretty positive. We'll see what Devin White and Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean are made of on Friday night, but that's the concern for me. I really want to see what these linebackers can do against two elite athletes for the Green Bay Packers.
All right. Ryan, I'll throw it to you next. What's your matchup you're watching when the Eagles are on defense?
So I'm going to be watching our defensive backs. So I'm basically watching the same thing, but on the reverse. Somebody had said, I believe it was Brian, in the comments that people are really overhyping these Green Bay wide receivers. They're good, but by no means do you have a Devontae Adams on your squad there. So yeah, I'm going to be certainly interested in Slay, and obviously some of the younger guys, out there, some of the newer guys, Rodgers, whether it's Ringo, obviously Q. I want to see obviously his first, snaps out there. Will we see Coop? I doubt it, but you never know. But yeah, I really want to kind of see the matchup because while they don't have necessarily, an all-pro, they have a decent squad of receivers out there. So I really kind of want to see how they match up, where Quinyon Mitchell matches up, whether he will be kind of the slot guy, the nickel guy, or will he get pushed outside a little bit? Will it be Ringo? Will it be Rodgers? Will it be both of them? Again, all the chess games I want to figure out. I want to be paying attention to the entire game.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I think we're going to see a similar game plan on both sides of the offense for Green Bay and for Philadelphia. I think both quarterbacks want to get the ball out fast. That's an area that Jordan Love isn't that great at, on throws that traveled 25 yards or more last year. Jordan Love only completed 34% of those. That was like middle of the pack in the NFL. So they're not a great downfield offense. That could be something that, just maybe Quinyon could, jump a pass there and make a big play for the Birds, because I don't really expect a lot from their, deep passes.
I got Anthony chiming in, says, can't wait to see Axeman Jr. rushing Love.
It's going to be awesome.
Does Jeremiah Trotter Jr. play defense in this game? Do you think we see him?
Not a lot.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think he's the fourth guy, and I don't think you're going to see three guys very often.
I agree. I like, whereas like the corners, I think they're going to rotate a ton. But week one for the linebackers, I expect Devin White and Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean.
Yeah. All right. David, what do you have as the defensive matchup to watch in this one?
Since Sirianni took over the head coaching job, they've wanted to run a Vic Fangio style defense. They've tried 3 different defensive coordinators, and now they finally have the real thing. So I just want to see how Fangio deploys the defense. How are they going to use everything? Is Quinyon Mitchell, are they really going to use him inside and outside? Because it sounds like they are. Today he stated that he's been prepared for that. How does he adjust to those assignments? It is something new to him. I'm looking to see that rotation between Keeley and Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, they talked about it all year, but I want to see how that works, what type of blitz packages he's employing from the linebackers and the edge rushers off the side, and also how the Packers plan to slow down Jalen Carter in the middle. I mean, they have a very good rotation there with Carter and Milton Williams and Jordan Davis. So mainly, I don't even know what to pinpoint because I'm excited to watch the defense in general. It is the first time we might have a competent defense for weeks and weeks.
Yeah, you look at where the Eagles could really attack this Green Bay offensive line. It's on the interior. And I kind of compared and contrasted the Eagles and Packers last night. And there's like some similarities, but it's really interesting between these two teams because weaknesses wise, that is where the Eagles could really exploit the Packers. The Packers have Jordan Morgan looking at going from left tackle at Arizona. He was a first-round pick in this year's draft, moving to right guard. will be matching up against Jalen Carter. And then you have Josh Myers, who is not a good center for the Green Bay Packers. He allowed 5 sacks last year. And, man, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, and Jalen Carter could really make some noise.
It's their strength of the team playing the weakness of their team. It's the one matchup they should exploit.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about the Packers offense, and, when you think about the great offenses in the NFL, the great offensive schemers, you think of Shanahan and McVay and McDaniel, but the Packers are right there. This is a team that they ranked 4th in motion rate last year, 3rd in play action. It's very difficult to know where the ball's going. They've got playmakers on the perimeter at wide receiver. No star receiver like the Eagles have, but they've got speed. Bo Melton is really fast. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, which I think Romeo Doubs is questionable as of right now, so he might not play. But Jaden Reed was coming on last year. They've got so many different options to get the ball to in space on offense, and they're going to create that space. And, David talked about the Fangio defense, and the Fangio defense is complicated. It's very rule intensive. It's a lot. So we had some guys in the comments earlier. It's one's on the screen right now, is that we're going to play a lot more zone, played too much man last year. Vic Fangio rarely calls spot drop zones. Most of them convert to man coverage based on route distributions and things. And that is complicated. And that takes time to teach, and it takes time to install, and it takes guys playing together to learn what to expect from each other. And we didn't see a lot of these guys a ton in the preseason, where we saw some more on the defense than the offense, but it's not like we saw Darius Slay out there a bunch. So you've got Quinyon Mitchell is a rookie that's trying to learn to play inside and outside. You've got 2 new linebackers. There's tremendous turnover on this defense. I think you're gonna see some coverage busts. The question is Jordan Love going to be able to make you pay for those?
Yeah.
Are the guys in the trenches going to be able to cover up some of those coverage busts that happen by getting quick interior pressure? I'm fascinated, like David said, to see this defense. I do expect there to be some bumps in the road early on. I mean, if you look at Miami last year, they started a little slower defensively, and people's opinion of Miami as the season went on really tanked, but that was largely offense related. Their defense took big leaps as the year went on, and I would expect that from the Eagles defense this year. I don't necessarily expect the defense to be pretty. You hope it shows some promise early on, and you grow into a competent unit as the season progresses.
That's why
the Packers. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
Who was the Packers defensive coordinator last year? I'm pretty sure he's like a Fangio disciple. So Jordan Love should be pretty, familiar with a lot of the things that the Eagles are going to do, because he went against it in practice for the whole year. I just can't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure it was a Fangio disciple, though.
Joe Barry.
Yeah.
Joe Barry. That's correct. Yep.
Yeah,
that's why I went with the Eagles linebackers, man, because, something the Eagles struggle with all year last several years is those, misdirections, the play actions. And Jordan Love is really good in play action.
Absolutely.
Over 1,400 yards last year, a 113.7 passer rating under play action. So, I mean, he just tears it up. And then you look at when he's under pressure and when he's blitzed, man. Jordan Love, when he was blitzed, literally the opposite of Jalen Hurts. He had a passer rating of 98.3, a quarterback rating of 98.3, 10 touchdowns, an interception, and a completion percentage of 65. So I find it fascinating to see how Vic Fangio attacks the Green Bay offense. Obviously, they're going to try and rely on a 4-man rush. We'll see. But I do think we're going to see a lot of 5-man fronts. I just can't wait to finally see what this Vic Fangio defense and what this Kellen Moore offense truly looks like.
All right. Anybody else have any other matchups they want to shout out before we get into our predictions?
No, I just the coordinators. It's very hard to make a lot of assumptions until you see what they're doing because they didn't show anything the entire preseason with that. So just seeing Kellen Moore, if he's really bringing motion, misdirection, snap under center, pistol, all these multitude of other formations, will he have answers for the blitz? Because one thing I've never agreed all off season is people keep saying Hurts regressed. And I don't really think he regressed. I think the offense just was not designed for him to progress. The OCs were just inept. I mean, I don't really see that as a big regression for him. His numbers weren't as good, but if you look at him as a whole, he was in the MVP race for like the first 12 weeks of the season. And then when everybody just went to town on this blitz and the Eagles just kind of fell apart, everything kind of fell off the rails there. But I don't think he's regressed so much as everybody else believed.
From week 12 through 18, Jalen Hurts still ranked 9th in EPA per play among quarterbacks.
Which is incredible.
the offense had a fatal flaw against the blitz, but they were still a top 10 offense. It was the defense that totally went off the rails. You mentioned the coordinators. I made a joke on Chalk Talk with Mark this morning as we were previewing week 1 because we just kept coming back to it. It seemed like every game, like new coordinator or new quarterback, and we just don't know what to expect. And I said, we're going to make the subtitle of our week 1 preview show, "We don't know anything." And that's sort of how I feel going into this game. The Eagles have a new coordinator on both sides. The Packers have it on one side. It's going to be really interesting just to see how it all plays out.
I just think you look at, these two defenses. I think the interior is where the true battle is going to be won. You look at the Eagles tackles, Rashawn Gary versus Lane Johnson. I think that's a wash. Preston Smith and Lucas Van Ness versus Marilata. I think that's a wash. And I think you look at the middle, Cam Jurgens and Mekhi Becton versus Kenny Clark, TJ Slayton, Devontae Wyatt. That's going to be a great matchup. And then we already talked about the other side. So who can win on the interior and who gets the most push up the middle is going to be fascinating.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's our top matchups to watch. Now we're going to get into our score predictions, our player of the game predictions, and we're going to do some over-under picks. All right, we will lead off with our pick of the week, our score predictions here. David, I'll throw it to you first. Give me your score prediction for this game. Who wins?
Want to earn some quick cash? Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston is stocking up on cute and cozy fall styles. We pay you on the spot for your gently used name brand clothes and accessories. Plus, while you're here, you can stock up on must-have looks for autumn. We're the go-to sustainable shopping spot for teens and young adults. So stop by Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston today and refresh your wardrobe. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue. Want to earn some quick cash? Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston is stocking up on cute and cozy fall styles. We pay you on the spot for your gently used name brand clothes and accessories. Plus, while you're here, you can stock up on must-have looks for autumn. We're the go-to sustainable shopping spot for teens and young adults. So stop by Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston today and refresh your wardrobe. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
I have the Eagles winning 27-23. I think it might start off a little sloppy for both teams just because a lot of people haven't played much so far this preseason. The Eagles played even less, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a victory for the Eagles. I think they're just a better team overall and that they have more experience. So that's who I'm going with, and that was the reason for it.
All right, 27-23 Eagles. Ryan, who do you have?
I have the Eagles winning this, and again, another close one. I have it 24-20. So just a little off from David's, but Yeah, again, I think it's first game. It's Brazil. It's not going to be the cleanest game we will see, but eventually the Eagles figure it out and get a late touchdown to win the game.
All right. And Dives, what do you have?
27-26 Eagles. Eagles win on a last-second field goal by Jake Elliott. It's going to be a wild game. I think this is a toss-up. Could really, truly go any way, and I do think it will be won by the coordinators. At the end of the day, I'm going to continue drinking the Kool-Aid that Kellen Moore wins over Jeff Hafley, and that will be the difference. We're going to see clock management from the Eagles, something we haven't seen since 2022. We're going to see an efficient offense that churns 5-6 yards per play, and it's just they're going to own time of possession. So give me the Eagles in a tough battle, but again, this is a coin flip.
All right, I am going to be the contrarian here. I've got the Packers winning this game, 31-28. I think this game has shootout potential. I think the Packers, this is more me being super in on the Packers than out on the Eagles. I've got the Packers being a legitimate Super Bowl contender, contending for the 1 seed in the NFC this year. So I was on the Jordan Love train before last year starts. Nothing that happened last year knocked me off that train. I think that they're going to be a really good football team this year. I think it's a really unfortunate week 1 game for the Eagles trying to install the new defense. So I'll take the Packers here. Let's go to our player of the game predictions. After that, we're going to get into prop bets. On the prop bets, we will score those and guys are free to pick whichever, but for player of the games, we're not going to have repeats. So we can all make different predictions. Dives, I'll throw it to you first here. Who's your player of the game?
You guys know where this is going. Come on, man.
Wait, hold on. We're going into year 2 of you picking the same player of the game for every damn game here. Let's go. Let's start it up.
But I'm also picking where they're weakest. So I do think they have a good chance of exploiting this. Jalen Carter, at the start of last season, we all remember, he was absolutely dominant. He looked like the best player on the freaking Eagles for a stretch. So I'm going Jalen Carter. I think his all-pro season starts on Friday and, just ragdolling some of these interior Packers offensive linemen on Friday night. I'm here for it.
All right. Ryan, which linebacker are you taking for player of the game?
Listen, I'm no dummy. You're not going to take a defensive player to be the player of the game. It is the lowest probability of happening, especially a linebacker, for that. But still, I digress. It's obviously going to be one of the skill positions. And I know one of us are going to take, this, that, and the other. So I might as well go ahead and take the most likely. And that's Jalen Hurts. He's going to ball out in Brazil. He's gonna want to play all of his games in Brazil. He's going to do so well. He's got 72 people to throw the ball to and a running back that's actually capable. So, of course, he's going to ball out. He's going to throw the ball to everybody. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Jalen Hurts, baby. Let's go.
All right. Jalen Hurts. I mean, let's be honest. Usually the quarterback is the good pick there. But
right, exactly. I'm just trying to, smart money.
All right. David, who do you have for player of the game?
I guess I am a dummy because I am picking a defensive player. I'm not going offensive. I am going to say that there's going to be an interception that wins the game, and I'm going with Quinyon Mitchell as the player of the game.
Let's go.
All right. I will take A.J. Brown. The Hurts to A.J. Brown connection. Always a good thing to bet on. So give me A.J. Brown, especially if the Packers decide they want to play a lot of single high coverage. We're going to see a different offense this year from the Eagles, but I am fully on board with single high, let it fly. So if they want to roll out one high safety, bombs away to AJ all day.
I just want to say for the halftime or post-game show on Friday night, I will be insufferable if Quinyon Mitchell gets a pick. That is going to be next level shit, man.
Oh man, I'm sad. I'm sad I won't be on post game this week.
Does player of the game have to be an Eagle? Like the two people who picked the Packers, could they have not picked a Packer to be player of the game?
You
Sure.
can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were always picking Eagles. Like,
Yeah,
who's
I was
going to be
curious.
the Eagles
whatever
player of
you
the
want,
game?
man. You can do whatever you want.
Ah, I should have picked Jordan Love.
No,
but
you're locked in.
I'm locked in. I'm good with AJ Brown. Let's go. I'm hedging.
just
Like,
curious.
I've got a pathway to get the game right. I've got a pathway to get the player of the game. It all works out great.
I love this, by the way.
How about a bold prediction? The
Lay it
Eagles.
on me.
Don't do it.
For the game or the season?
No, the season.
Yeah, here it is. I know where you're going.
Yeah. The Eagles will have more first downs, like third and short, fourth and short first downs that will not be the tush push this season.
All right.
Boo.
We will see. I have no idea what the tush push is going to look like, but I know for absolute fact it will not look worse than Kenny Pickett or Tanner McKee trying to pull it off. So I'm just thankful I never have to see that again. Let's go into our prop bets now. Over under total points at 48.5. I guess, are we just going to take that off our score predictions?
Yeah, I just took that.
So everybody's over except for Ryan, who took the under.
Yay! Let's go under.
All right, most receiving yards on the Eagles. We can rapid fire some of these. Ryan, who has the most receiving yards this week?
AJ Brown.
All right, David.
Saquon.
Oh, I like it.
All right. All right, David's got Saquon. I have AJ Brown, and potentially hot take, Saquon will have the 5th most receiving yards on the Eagles this week.
Yeah.
Let's go most rushing yards. I got Saquon. Anybody have anything that's not Saquon?
I was gonna say, if you don't have Saquon, get the hell out of here.
I mean, I do want to add, Jalen Hurts torched the Packers with his legs in the previous matchup. You go back and watch that last game.
It was like
and
100.
they had no answer for Hurts on those runs.
It was like 140, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
All right, so Saquon's all around. The next question is over under Saquon total yards. So this is rushing yards and receiving yards combined at 90.5. David, are you over or under that?
Way over.
Way over.
Oh,
All right.
that's combined total yards. Hell yeah, that we're going over.
Yeah, I got the over on that as well.
I think it's going to be the Saquon Barkley show in Brazil this Friday night.
I love it. I love it.
All right. And let's go over under Josh Jacobs rushing yards set at 59.5. Ryan, you got the over or the under?
Oh, that's pretty good. I'm gonna say over, but not by a lot. I think our run defense is certainly going to do a little better of a job, but I think he gets into like the 60s.
All right. David, you got over or under 59.5?
Over.
Yeah, I've got the over on that as well. Green Bay was really good zone running team down the stretch last year. We'll see if Josh Jacobs can bounce back after a pretty poor year last year in Las Vegas. Over under Eagles total sacks against Green Bay 2.5. Ryan, what do you got?
I'm gonna go under.
I am also going to go with the under on that one. I think it'll be a good. Jordan Love is he's too mobile. He's too elusive.
He's shifty.
There's going to be some reps that the guys went up front, and Jordan Love's just going to do Jordan Love things and get away. So getting over 2.5 sacks on him, I think, would be a pretty tall order. David, what do you got?
Under.
Under. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. And our final one, over under Jordan Love interceptions set at a half an interception. So essentially, will Jordan Love throw an interception? Ryan, what do you got?
Hell yeah, over. We are getting some picks on Friday. Let me tell you.
I'm under. I got the under.
Boo.
David, what do you have?
I got a pick 6, so I'm over. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. Our over-under predictions. If you guys want to play along with us, write these down. You can take a screenshot if you're watching here on YouTube or Twitter and put your picks out there. Maybe you tag us in it, and we'll see how you guys do next week. We'll recap this. We'll get our biggest takeaways, and we'll do the same thing for a week 2 game against the Atlanta Falcons. So
I'm a little nervous. I'm the only one, the contrarian on a lot of these. So this could be a disaster for me, or it could be
or you could be a landslide victory. You're right.
Yeah,
I do love the Packers fans in the chat, though. By the way,
love it. Make sure you join us at halftime and post game on Friday. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Always cool to hang out with respectable fans from the other teams, which is most teams except for the Cowboys, if we're being honest. So
right, they're terrible people.
Yeah, so you guys just smash that subscribe button, come hang out with us at halftime, at post game show, and every Tuesday night if you're so interested. If you're a Packers fan out there, hey, we expect you guys to be in a playoff push. We expect to see you there. So maybe you want to keep tabs throughout the season. So that's going to about do it for our preview show here for week 1. Let's throw it around the horn for final thoughts and plugs. David, you're up first.
One question for you guys. It wasn't on our over under, but who has the most snaps from the slot?
Quinyon Mitchell.
For the defense?
No, offense.
Oh, Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith, yeah.
That's the fun part, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see AJ Brown get a lot of snaps in the slot on Friday. Like, that's the entire point, I think, of moving for a Jahan Dotson is having 3 weapons that can literally go anywhere. And I think that's exactly what we should see. Like, Jair Alexander, amazing guy, but you get a guy like AJ Brown and you could throw him in the slot and get a mismatch. That's what we brought Kellen Moore in for. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that the most. I'm with most of y'all. I'm going with Smitty as the slot leader for Friday night. But you can follow everything I do at PHL Eagle News. I wrote a really interesting piece that fans will love about Kenny Gainwell's importance in the offense this year. It is.
Make sure you tag Brian in that article. Make sure
we were doing so good.
Yeah, so you can check that out. And I'll give one bold prediction since Dibes gave one. I'm going to go with Nakobe Dean leads the team in tackles by the end of the season.
Interesting. I like it.
All right. Be sure you follow David on Twitter, X, whatever we call it these days, at PHL Eagle News. Check out all of his stuff. It is fantastic. Ryan, where are you at? Where can the people find you? What do you got going on?
Well, apparently, if you'd like, I can let everybody know all of my Twitter handles. This one is the best one, but listen, I got a couple out there, so if you can find them, great. Good for you. Good luck. But anyway, honestly, guys, I am so effing pumped for this game. Going to a friend's house, and little does he know we're tailgating in his backyard before he gets home from work. So there'll be like 10 of us out there playing beer pong, setting everything up, cornhole, the whole 9 yards. So I'm absolutely just cannot wait for this. I'm like bubbling on the surface of excitement. There's just so much that we have been talking about all off season about this team, about, even some of the matchups, some of the players, some of the schemes, the coordinators, the new players, the old players, like all of it just coming together. It's too much, and I love it, and I can't wait for this season. So make sure you guys are sticking with us here. The best Eagles show, period. Birds of the Round Table every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Pinpull Network. Make sure you're following all of these guys as well. Just absolutely love it. Let's effing go.
All right. Be sure you are following Ryan at all his burner accounts, but primarily Philly Sports PSA. Dibes, what do you got going on?
We have a lot of comments about Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper. I do want to say I love Edgerrin Cooper, but I will say Saquon in the slot is something I also can't wait to see for the Birds. Quay Walker, listen, he's a great prospect. He was a great player at Georgia, but he also had a QB rating allowed when targeted of 109.8 last year. He also missed 12 tackles. Edgerrin Cooper is a great blitzer. Love Edgerrin Cooper, but there's going to be a learning curve for that dude. Welcome to the NFL, Edgerrin Cooper. I want to see Saquon Barkley lining up against Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper on Friday night. That is going to be amazing to watch. That's what Kellen Moore is all about. I put out 12 shorts on my winners of the week for college football week 1. Go check that out. It was an awesome week 1. We will be live in 5 minutes talking week 2 of college football. College football is back. That's like my heaven. I don't really follow the NFL beyond the Eagles. So make sure you stick with us. We will be live momentarily right when we wrap this up.
All right. Be sure you follow Dibe stuff too. Lots of great content out there. Make sure you're following all of these guys. Make sure you subscribe to the Eagles Pinpool Network. And again, be sure you tune in Friday night right after the game. We'll be live with the post-game show. You can drop your 3-word reactions on Twitter immediately following the game. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Birds of the Round Table. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Shane Half NFL. David is at PHL Eagle News. Ryan is at Philly Sports PSA, among other places. Dives is at Mr. Crockpot. And we will catch you guys next week for another episode of Birds of the Round Table.